Thank you, Reverend Carol. Now we're recording. Okay, thank you so much. I didn't realize that there was a switcheroonie that had to happen there, so my apologies. All right, and I think we have everybody here for the moment, so I want to give everybody a warm, toasty warm good morning and welcome to the Church of the Angels, to the members and friends of our organization. The church is an independent, non-denominational, interfaith spiritualist assembly. And my name is Reverend Cindy Hudson, and I get to be your facilitator today. Bear with me because sometimes it's a little bit bouncy here on the recording end, I guess we'll say. But we're going to spend about an hour together this morning with a prayer, a bit of sharing and song. And we have a few logistics. As you know, you can join us with just audio, and you don't have to use the video option. As you know, we are recording this so that we can share this with more people. I know that that's been a real benefit to many folks. So again, as I said before, if you want to join with just audio, that's fine. When you speak, you will be the one that gets recorded, your image and your words. If you prefer not to be recorded, then send a message in the chat box. That if you scroll up from the bottom, you'll see a little bubble that says chat, and put a message in there, and we'll make sure we address your comments that way, but you would not have to be recorded. If you, during the sharing portion of the service, if you want to be called on to comment, please simply unmute yourself or wave your hands, or there's a way you can raise your hand with some of the icons you might see that we'll pay attention to. But please keep yourself muted otherwise, just so that everybody can enjoy the service and minimize any kind of disruptions or distractions. And I want to mention that if you wish to make a donation to the Church of the Angels, you can do so through our website. That would be www.churchoftheangels.net. And you'll have an opportunity to make your donation a recurring one if you so choose. At this time, I do definitely want to thank everybody who has been so generous and so kind in supporting our ongoing mission and keeping our church alive, keeping our doors open, because we know every day I see the numbers improve about vaccinations and decreasing hospitalizations and that good stuff. So we know that we are getting to the point where we can reopen our doors and welcome everybody. So again, thank you to everybody who's kept us going during this difficult time. And now for our opening prayer. Mother, Father, Infinite Spirit, thank you for your blessings on all those joining us today to honor your work and experience your grace and wisdom. Thank you for providing the appropriate thoughts and insights, actions, and all resources for us to gain a better and truer understanding of your love by the words spoken and by the healing brought forth here today, so that we might lead healthy, happy, and prosperous lives. Thank you for showing us the way to accept responsibility for our lives. We are grateful to know you are with us always. And now, if you're comfortable, join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. And now I have, not me, but we have asked Maria Passarelli to lead us in our statement of principles. Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome. There is one creative force of which all life is a part. This one creative force is known by many names and manifestations. We recognize and honor the many names and manifestations of the one creative force, the source of all creation, one in God. The energy of life everywhere is continuous. All consciousness is continuous. Communication is continuous. The energy of life, consciousness, and communication never cease, even after the event that is perceived as death. One creates one's own reality. One creates in harmony with the one creative force, the great power of God, of which all life is a part. Reality as one chooses to perceive and will change as one grows in knowledge of the inner self and one's relationship with the God of his understanding. All things are possible with faith, insight, knowledge, understanding, acceptance, and love. Love is the unifying energy of the universe. Love is the energy of the one creative force, the wisdom of God. All life and all mankind are one in the creatorship and healing force of love and with each other. Love is within us and of us. Love is never apart from us. It is we who separate ourselves from the power of love. The force of God works through love and love alone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maria.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. And now we're going to have a few moments of quiet meditation so that we can concentrate on going within to find peace, centeredness, groundedness, calm and healing for ourselves and for the world around us. We know as we do unto others. And so as we become centered and grounded, that vibration goes out into the ethers, we'll say. So we're going to spend about 5 or 10 minutes just to kind of gently go within. You may choose to close your eyes, gently stare at a space about 3 feet in front of you, and just pay attention to your breath. Pay attention, if you choose, to the words of this song, although they are in Sanskrit. And this is the Gayatri Mantra from Deva Premal. The Gayatri Mantra is one of the master mantras. So with that, enjoy. Slowly and gently, bring yourself back into the space, taking your time, remembering that we are always connected to each other, to the divine, to the beautiful silence within and around us. Use this peace and calm to take care of yourselves, those in your loved ones' circles, those in your communities, throughout the world in whatever way you can. And at this time, please add silently or out loud the names of those you wish to include in this healing, centering space. All right, and as you're inspired, you may choose to include world leaders as well in this healing space with so much happening around us. Okay. All right, now usually we would have a song, another song to raise our vibrations and shift up the energy. But at this point in time, I'm going to defer that because we're going to enjoy some music during our speaker's talk today that will relate to what she is talking about. And so at this point, it's going to be my privilege and pleasure to present to you our speaker, Carol Miller. And she has been with our church now for a few years and always with a smile, always willing to help with healing and now with message work, with the service of the church, and now serving on the board, one of the backbones that really helps to give the energy, the integrity, and the love throughout all that she does, both at the church and I'm sure in the world around her. So with that, I will welcome Carol Miller to bring us our talk today and let her introduce the topic. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Reverend Cindy. The topic is If We Only Have Love. So this is Valentine's Day. And since my topic is If We Only Have Love, based on the poem written by Jacques Brel in the early 1950s and later set to music, I thought I should at least mention Valentine's Day. However, I will just mention it a little. The holiday has sort of become the type of holiday that leaves some people maybe feeling a little left out, maybe because it's become a little commercialized. Now, I myself didn't get married until I was 34 years old. So there were plenty of Valentine days that I felt a little left out without a Valentine of my own. And I don't want to do that to anyone. That would not be love. And here's a comment on Valentine's Day. One of the things I like best about Valentine's Day has nothing to do with romance and love. I like that by the time it's Valentine's Day, the sun does not set until about 6 o'clock, getting closer to spring. In fact, on my phone today, where I live, it said exactly 6 o'clock. Bit on St. Valentine. According to Google, that great source of knowledge, St. Valentine, Roman Catholic priest and physician around 270 AD. He prayed for the sick, jailed. It is said he restored the sight to his jailer's daughter and signed the letter, Your Valentine. Somewhere in what's called the High Middle Ages, around the 11th century, St. Valentine's Day started to focus on courtly love instead of the traditional feast day. Now, I think today, Valentine's Day has broadened its meaning some. People celebrate Valentine's Day with lots of people that they love, not just romantic love. If you can see my little pin, um, my mother gave me this little Valentine dear pin when I was a little girl. Um, People share affection with lots of people on Valentine's Day. In fact, one year I bought a fresh supply of worms for my turtle as a Valentine gift. I'm sure he appreciated it, and the pet store thought it was funny. Now, I've heard complaints at times that the English language that has for, I think a bad thing. Love is love. We don't have to value one more than another. In the Greek, agape was the highest, the unconditional love. Eros, romantic love. I guess storge is how it said love, such as love of a child, philia, love of friends. The greatly respected hymn, and it's in our hymn, reflections of love. Debating if maybe one short verse I can sing so you can recognize it. I might regret this, and you might too. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above. Well, I don't know how that worked out, but at least then you could recognize it. And I also don't want to throw out a romantic love or a marital love in whatever form it takes, because it's of value too. We took a look back at The Sound of Music in preparation for this talk, in which Maria, the novice nun, she's not yet a nun, tells the Reverend Mother that she is unsure she might be in love with Captain Von Trapp. Yes, it's a little corny. She tells the Reverend Mother, "Oh, I don't know. There were times." Reverend Mother tells the other nun to leave the room. "You may leave us now." She didn't want any gossip around the Abbey. But the Reverend Mother tells Maria, the love between a man and a woman is holy too. And of course, this means the deep love between any couples. She tells Maria that she has a great capacity for love, which Maria would need as this all occurs right before the Reverend Mother breaks in to almost one of the title songs, Climb Every Mountain, a very inspirational song. In fact, it was the theme song for my high school graduating class. That dates me. There's just one line that sticks in my head. This doesn't need to be sung. I wouldn't try. And she talks about, strive toward your dreams, a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life for as long as you live. So love isn't always easy. It can be hard work at times, but it is what makes life rewarding. Little children love their teddy bears because that's what humans do. We give love and it makes us feel good, even if teddy bear doesn't give love back. Some of you know that I worked in social work for years. I learned early on that if I was having a bad day, the best way to fix it was to go out and see some clients, give a little love and help, and the day brightened. And Anne Marie, you're going to get a little mention because I remember seeing you on Thanksgiving Day, and you were very happy. You didn't stay home by yourself on Thanksgiving Day. You went to work and you shared and gave love to the residents where you work, and you were happy. And the same is said about teachers. If a teacher doesn't have love or doesn't love the students, then the teaching is empty, both the student and the teacher. I try to follow the Sanskrit guidance. Love all, serve all. The Dalai Lama says that as long as one person is in need, he will continue to enlightenment is. It is not to just sit and meditate. It is going to take a quick look at a Hallmark holiday movie. Yes, I know they're corny. We saw one this year, A Joyful Christmas, that had a self-improvement coach selling her books about self-care. She told the audience, look in the mirror. That is the most important person. During the events of the movie, she learned that that is not what really brings people happiness. Helping others helps us. Of course, we can't ignore our own health and needs either. That helps no one. We need to feel the same love for ourselves as we feel for the others we serve. Many treatment programs for trauma and addictions conclude the healing with service to others as part of the final step. So now we're finally getting close to our main poem written by Jacques Brel, If We Only Have Love. It was written in Europe, either Belgium or France, in the early 1950s, shortly after World War II. Yes, the world was starting to rebuild after crawling out from under 6 years of war. I feel that the COVID pandemic and all that came with it is our generation's World War II. Our parents or our grandparents endured World War II, and we can endure and overcome this also. My dad was in the Army 5 full years. Imagine that. And he was drafted. He didn't join. This interrupted his life. If they can endure this, we can endure. I also don't want to play it down too much. We have been through this. We need, we need to realize what we've been to move forward in love. I mean, even now, the United States has did in the entire World War II. We are traumatized in one way or another. I pulled out the Diagnostic Manual of Mental Health Disorders, and it describes trauma as the person experienced, witnessed, or was confronted with an event or events that involved actual or threatened death or serious injury or a threat to the physical integrity of self or others. We experienced this. We go out, people aren't wearing masks in a safe way. What do? Say something, make things worse, put up with it, and worry about our own health and whether we will take COVID home to our loved ones. It's been awful. But I do think it's getting better. And I think we are starting to get to a place where we too can start to think about rebuilding that are coming down with COVID. Both got our first injection, and our democracy seems to have survived. No matter how we felt our democracy was threatened, it so far has survived. And I believe even safer. So now, how do we move forward? So we're going to listen to Jacques Brel, who was sung by Johnny Mathis, accompanied by an old-timey orchestra, but it really get the authentic feel. Plus, Johnny Mathis sings all the lyrics, and they're really beautiful. I'm going to put the lyrics up on the screen for you. This is a technology challenge and adventure. But the lyrics, I mean, the music is nice, but the lyrics are really important. And I also want to mention the phrasing before we hear it, because it's said like, if we only have love, then such and such. Like the first phrase is, if we only have love, then tomorrow will dawn and the days of our years will rise on that morn. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. And let's see if we can do this. I'm going to pull up the words and then give you the music, hopefully. Words should be there, yes? Okay, now I have to pull up the music. Can you hear it?
Some of the poetry. If we only have love, then tomorrow will dawn, and the days of our years will rise on that morn. If we only have love to embrace without fears, we will sleep without tears. If we only have love, with our arms open wide, then the young and the old will stand at our side. If we only have love, love that's falling like rain, then the parched desert earth will grow green. If we only have love for the hymn that we shout, for the song that we sing, then we'll have a way out. If we only have love, we can lose in pain. We can heal all our wounds. We can use our own name. Only have love. We can melt all the guns. And then sun. If we only have love, then Jerusalem stands. And then death has no shadow. There are no foreign lands. If we only have love, we will never bow down. We'll be strong as a pine. Neither heroes nor clowns. If we only have love, then we'll only be men. And we'll drink from the grave. Then with nothing at all but the little we are, we'll have conquered the town.
Okay. Well, I hope you, I guess, be enjoyed. Oh, I want to get out of this shared screen. How do I do that? Because, oh, up there. I know those of you who might be giving messages. Oh, I'll stop share. You need to see faces. Okay, are we?
We're back to faces. We're good.
Back to faces. Wonderful. Let me see. Okay, well, I'll pass the Kleenex. Amazing, isn't it? Parts of it felt like they could have been, you know, I'll just pick out some highlights. Let me see how I'm doing on time too. Oh yeah, I better just make it a highlights. Of course, the reference embrace without fear, sleep without tears, we can relate to that. One that stuck out in my mind was with our arms open wide, then the young and the old can stand at our side. We couldn't do that, you know? And also the love falling like rain, then the parched desert earth can grow green again. Sure sounds like climate change to me and wildfires. He goes through a whole list of other things. He mentions Jerusalem, but you know, Jerusalem is a holy city for Judaism, Islam, and creativity, Christianity. death has no shadow. That's kind of a spiritualist phrase that, you know, when we don't have love, we're living in shadow. And he has an interesting mix of humility that, you know, will only be men. Reminds me of the Quakers, how important a simple life is, you know, that it's a gift to have a simple life that will be free. And when we find the place that is right, we'll live in the valley of love and delight. And you know, our lives did get more simple during the lockdown. Just, you know, no options. Now, Jacques Brel, he's Christian. Um, so he uses some symbolism, but you know, we can take it any way we works for us, you know. Born again, well, lots of us are open to reincarnation. But one final point I takes us to the closing. The finale is great. Yeah, he talks about us needing the little that we are, um, with nothing at all, but our leave us there. The big finish is we have conquered all time, all space, the sun, and the stars. That's our place. We might just be humble human beings, but that is who we are. That is where we are. We have our place as part of the universe, conquering all time, all space, the sun, and the stars. And I'll leave that with you. We have a way out to our place in the universe if we only have love. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. Thank you, Carol.
You're
What a
welcome.
beautiful message for Valentine's Day. And I wanted to make sure you get some of the chat message that came up from Anne Marie. Carol, thank you for such a beautiful talk. It gave me the warm fuzzies, and you exude love. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. What a blessing you were to those you served as a social worker. And then Reverend Barbara D to everybody says, Carol, thank you for a wide Valentine message. Thank you for a wide Valentine message. Wonderful. And I love Burrell. And Tonda Still also mentions that she loved your choice of song. Thank you. So those are the chat messages so far. And anybody who would like to unmute themselves, make a comment, opening up the floor. I will scroll and look for hands frantically waving. Make sure I call on you. And I don't see, I will say, you know, some of what you were initially talking about, Reverend Carol, reminded me of Reverend Walt. When he would lead the service, he always had a prayer that said, in part of the prayer was, we serve God best when best we serve other people. And I think when you would talk about, you know, having kind of a off day, you go into work, you help other people, and by helping people, we help ourselves. And we know that. And I loved Walt's phrase there with we serve God best when best we serve other people. And Alexander Fox also said that was absolutely lovely, Carol. And Maria Passerell says, thank you, Carol, beautiful message. So much love and appreciation for what you brought through this morning, Carol.
Thank you.
Your songs, you're reminding us the songs in Dale.
So I'm going to chime in that she was working on it, but I had not heard it, and there was one line from Jacques Brel that really struck me, which is the part about there are no foreign lands. It's such a beautiful vision. We have all this intergroup conflict, and it's us against them, and the idea that we would be all one world and there's no foreign lands. It's just such a great vision of love.
Yeah. Thank you, Dale. I would agree with that. Okay, and I apologize. I know that there's been some technical difficulties with my internet. I'm not sure if it was me freezing up at times or if Carol is freezing up at times, but as we said initially, Mercury is working its magic. And yet I think we got the love, we got the message. And again, thank you very much, Carol.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate that. Anybody else have a comment before I close up comments and move on to announcements? I don't see any hands virtually or physically. I don't see anybody unmuting. All right, then if we're okay, I'm gonna, again, with gratitude to our speaker, move on to the announcements for today. And so let me pull up the announcements that I had on my phone so that I could read from them, because who prints anymore, right? My printer ink was drying up. I don't use it that much anymore. So we have Development Circle tomorrow night. President's Day, but we have Development Circle at 7 o'clock online as always. And then next week, the 23rd of February, we have the Thought Exchange at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on the 24th, we have Meditation Circle, and that's virtual again with Reverend Renee Roth, leading that online now. And then in March, we got a bunch of cool things coming up in March. So March 1st is the Women's Book Club, as well as its Development Circle. On into March, we have the food drive coming up. And what that is that we will be at the church. Of course, it won't ring up on my phone now, but we will be at the church accepting donations of food on Saturday and Sunday. And I don't see it here in the calendar, but Saturday and Sunday in March, I think it's the 20th and the 21st, we will be at the church at set times to accept donations, and then we will get that donation to one of our local food banks. We know that people are very generous at Christmas time. We have another need time coming up, so we're going to share with that. We also have a 4-part series by Reverend Barbara Douglas on abundance. Again, that is on our website, so check out the dates for the series on abundance coming up in March. That's going to be way cool, led by Reverend Barbara. And then Reverend Ann Bartlett has an advanced mediumship session on an afternoon in March as well. So again, lots of good things coming up. Our routine things this month, and then in March we're cranking it up again for some more special events. So are there other announcements that I want to make sure I don't miss? I'm looking for hands waving, hands in the air. Go ahead and unmute yourself if there's something you'd like to share. I'm looking, and I don't see anything. So again, if I've missed you, I do apologize. Put it in the chat and we'll make sure we catch it before the end of the service here. Okay. All right, so as we start to shift our gears into the message portion of the service, I'd like to ask if anybody would like to share briefly how Spirit has touched their lives this week, whether it's a prayer that's been answered, a message that's come to fruition, an understanding. So who's got something they'd like to share this week? I'm not sure if you guys are a quiet group or if my internet's like giving me fits here. But I don't see hands waving, and yet I know Spirit's always very busy intervening on our behalf, sharing so much with us.
I see Alexander's hand going.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so Alexander, if you want to unmute yourself and share, that would be wonderful.
Good morning, everyone. So on Monday, there was a video that I had watched, and it was one take like on the future of like how things could be, especially dealing with a lot with like AI and stuff along those lines. And I kind of got mad. It didn't feel good. I was just kind of like, that doesn't sound pleasant. It doesn't sound organic. It doesn't sound fun. And I was like, so what's going to be like the point of it? Like, why would some people want to live through that? And it just really irked me. And when I was in the car listening to it, like 4 minutes later, after I got angry, I had 3 red-tailed hawks fly right over me. And one of them was circling around my car, and the other 2 had just flown right over. And then I just smiled the biggest smile, and pretty much it made me feel that like everything's going to be okay somehow, some way. Don't know how, but yeah. That's one way.
Yeah, thank you, Alexander. I know evolution is not necessarily comfortable or what we would like to envision it to be. And yet this is where we have to trust in whatever the divine order has in store, and do our part to keep the love and to keep the integrity going. Although,
Absolutely.
again, we may all define integrity a little differently, so that adds to the mix of excitement. So if there's other hands, other people that would care to share, again, thank you, Alexander. If other people care to share, please go ahead and unmute yourself, because I'm not seeing faces right now on my screen, just names.
Barbara Douglas.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had one actually yesterday. I have 3 great nieces, and I take them stuff, and they're the perfect age. They're 7, 5, and 2, and so I had bought a lot of presents and put them all in bags and gave, but as Course in Miracles says, when we give, we receive. It was a wonderful receiving for me to see their joy and sharing each other's presence. And so it just reinforced what Carol said today, and I thought I would share it, but it was a lovely time. So
Yeah. Oh, neat to hear. Thank you, Reverend Barbara. Thank you. Anybody else have something they would care to share? Oh, let's see. I'm scrolling, looking for hands waving.
Tanda.
Okay, thank you. Tanda, you want to unmute yourself?
My husband passed away 15 years ago, and I have a drawer with still some of his things in it. And as I was going through, I've been, with pandemic, like many people going through the house, getting rid of things, going through that drawer once again. Way in the back of the drawer was a letter. I don't want to call it a letter because it was more like he was journaling, but it wasn't in his journal. It was a totally separate piece of paper that was plastered way up in the back, and I'd never read it before. And it was just so very touching as he was coming to terms with his illness and his messages for us as a family. And then the following day, my son and I were talking, and as I was describing this to him, this beautiful owl that I hadn't seen in a while because of destruction that my neighbor had done with logging, a lot of the owls had disappeared recently. An owl returned and just sat right in front of the window for the longest time. So it was a very special message.
I bet. What confirmation. Oh,
Yeah.
Tanda. I'm glad you had that experience. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you. All right. I think that's it for sharing. So I'm going to move on, and we're going to move into the message portion of our service. As spiritualists, you know that we believe the energy of all beings is forever linked, and that all of us have direct access to the love and the guidance of loved ones, guides, teachers, saints, healers, and angels on the other side of life. And we have mediums here today who have agreed to serve as kind of an antenna and to connect with spirit to bring forth a few messages for us. And so I'm going to be winging it at this point in time and asking if some people would care to serve. And if you would choose not to today, that's perfectly okay to say no thanks. But I'm scrolling through my screen. I feel like, was it Miss Barbara on Romper Room or whatever she had? She had that little mirror she would hold up and call out who she would see. So Reverend Vicki Jones, are you inspired to open us up this morning with a message or two?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes,
Thank you.
Jackie Cheney, would you like a message? Jackie? Okay. I'm feeling a lot of love around you today. I'm feeling on your mother's side coming in for you. They're like all around you, encouraging you to get out. This, especially once spring hits, they want you to get out and smell the flowers, so to speak. But plant things and just get out. There's just a lot of love for you today. I leave that with you. Okay. Then I have one for Luann. Luann, would you like one? Okay. Luann, I'm seeing you stepping into territory. You're coming into your own. They're saying that you're going to leave some things behind and going to move forward into some new energy and look for some new opportunities coming your way, because Spirit's going to put them out in front of you, and they're for you and for you alone to pick up and use. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me serve.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Vicki. Thank you. Shannon Williams, are you inspired this morning? Shannon? Okay.
There we go. Can everybody?
Thank you. Yes.
Happy Sunday. Happy
Happy
Valentine's.
Valentine's. Yep.
Let's see if I've got some messages. Megan, would you like a message?
Yes, please.
I have a grandmother coming through, and she is bringing in a lot of love, and she's bringing a lot of red roses, and she's also wants you to know that she is with you right now in regards to assisting with your children, your kiddos. You've needed a little extra help lately. That if you can place that a little bit more than normal. And she's with you and she's helping you with that. And she's just so much love, and she's just embracing the kiddos and embracing you and just bringing in a lot of love and support right now. Okay, and I just want to leave that with you. She's been coming through really strongly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do have another message. Let's see. I just need to find that person. Let's see. Liz? Liz, would you like a
yes.
message? Hi, Liz.
Hi, Shannon.
At the beginning of service, I'm getting a lot of red roses. For a lot of people today. I'm getting a lot of red roses for you, and I'm getting it from a man on the other side. It's like an ex-husband, and he is bringing in a lot of love, and he just wants to say one thing, and that was he didn't give you enough red roses. And so he's giving them to you right now. And he also is there to assist, and he wants you to ask him more for assistance because he couldn't. I feel like he's been trying to come through. He says he's been trying to come through and talk to you more. So he's going to be leaving little things, reminders of him. And those are reminders to ask for assistance when you need it from him. He has a lot of support on the other side. He's done a lot of healing on the other side. He's grown a lot. He wants to share that with you.
Okay.
I want to leave it with you, okay?
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have right now.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's fine. Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you very much. And Reverend Barbara, would you bring through a couple messages?
Yes. Reverend Vicky, would you like a message? Whoops.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. This is angelic, Vicky, and it's very simple, but there's this whoosh kind of a feeling coming up through you, and then a huge blossom unfolds. Now it's not a lotus, it's a mum, but it's a Fuji mum, the kind with the like Sputnik.
Oh, okay.
Come out. It's just beautiful as it explodes up out of you. And the very simple message is blossoming. You know, you are blossoming. You are in the process of this happening. But I just want to share with you the gorgeousness of this flower, almost as gorgeous as you are, my dear. And I leave that with you as Spirit's blessing.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. And oh, I see. It's Allison. Allison, would you like a message?
I'd love one. Thank you.
Okay. This isn't a relative, it's a friend, but I don't think Allison ever knew this, but your soul did, because he's dressed like post-Civil War, but definitely before 1900. And it is a man, and he is fairly tall, actually has no beard. He has dark hair, and it can mean nothing to you because Allison, I know Allison does not know him, but he, I'm getting all kinds of noise. He, the message is to tighten up, and I don't exactly know what that means. I think it means just all of your life to pull it together, keep focus, and keep focus as you move ahead. And that's really all the message is. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you.
Light. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
all right. Thank you, Reverend Barbara. Thank you for bringing that through. All right. And I want to tell everybody, thank you for your kind attention this morning. And thank you to all the participants, to the mediums, our speaker, Carol, and especially to Spirit and the God of your understanding for being with us today and always in the days ahead. So for those who may be new with us, you can learn more about the Church of the Angels at our website. As I mentioned before, it's www.thechurchoftheangels.net, or you can certainly email us at thechurchoftheangels@gmail.com. And now we're going to have a song brought to us by Anthony, and then stay with us for a closing prayer. So thank you, Anthony.
Okay. Lord of all creation, of water, earth, and sky, the heavens are your tabernacle. Glory to the Lord on high. God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. Universe declares your majesty. You are holy, holy, Lord of heaven and earth, Lord of heaven and earth. Early in the morning, I will celebrate the light. When I stumble in the darkness, I will call your name by night. God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, holy, Lord of heaven and earth, Lord of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the Lord of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the Lord of heaven and earth. Hallelujah to the Lord of heaven and God wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy. You are holy. Precious Lord, reveal your heart to me. You are holy, 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 holy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony. And you've gotten some accolades on your hat. Chef
Yay.
Anthony here, bringing us music. Ah, terrific. So I have my little Valentine's on too, virtually. So in closing, we will pray. Infinite Spirit, Mother, Father, God, as we move forward, we thank you in advance for the guidance and resources you always provide for us to live the fullest expression of your love. We pray for all those affected by the circumstances throughout our world at this time. And may we be reminded of the opportunities to reconnect in love to all those around us, and to all those in the world, to Mother Earth and the universe on this Valentine's Day and all days. Amen. And I'm going to stop the recording, or maybe Reverend Carol does have to do that.